Hi, moving to a new country is exciting, but let's be honest, learning a new language can be overwhelming. Now, have you ever felt embarrassed when trying to speak and someone just stares at you? Or you just freeze mid-conversation because your brain is just locked and the words aren't coming? Trust me, I've been there. But don't worry, in this video, I'm gonna share how you can overcome those language barriers, build confidence, and start speaking like a pro. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Guillermo Salas from Expat Livin. Almost 4 years ago, my wife and I moved our family of 6 to Spain. And when I first got here, I struggled with the language, made awkward mistakes, and even avoided conversations. Key is that over time, I found ways to improve, and I want to help you do the same. So I'm going to share the biggest mistakes I made, the best ways to build confidence, and some practical tips that actually work. All right, but first, let's address the elephant in the room, right? Yeah, you're thinking, your name is Guillermo. Like, come on, man. You spoke Spanish already, right? Yeah, you didn't have any problems adjusting. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. I had, and to be very honest, still do to a much smaller degree, have a lot of insecurity about speaking Spanish. You know, I didn't grow up speaking Spanish in my household. And when I did try, people like my grandmother, love you, but she would snicker at my accent or make comments about me being a gringo. So whenever I was in a place where people started speaking Spanish, man, I would literally like moonwalk out of the conversation and go somewhere else. I was like a ninja, just slipping out of the party or the gathering or just disappearing. Now, we moved to Spain for so many reasons, right? Opportunities for our children, bringing our family closer together, or venture. But for me personally, this was a real personal journey, right? An opportunity to overcome something that I had a lot of shame around. Yeah, honestly, I was really afraid. So much so that I tried to torpedo the move abroad a couple of times. But thankfully, my wife Danielle is persistent and just wouldn't take no for an answer. Because the reality is moving to Spain has been the best thing for our family. So I'm sharing all this to give you hope. Because if I could overcome the obstacle of learning a new language, so can you. You know, I went from not being able to utter one sentence in Spanish to navigating and getting surgery for my Achilles when I injured it playing this game paddle, an incredible sport in Spain, but that's gonna be a topic for another video. Just remember, really, people who lived before us, they figured it out, so can you, okay? All right, now let's jump into some practical tips and advice. Number 1, common challenges everyone faces. The first step is identifying what is stopping us, right? So that we're conscious of it, acknowledge it, and then we can start to move past it. Fear of making mistakes is a big one, right? We are worried people will laugh at us. Yeah, well, I hit that one already, right? Another common sort of thing is feeling stuck in conversations. Have you ever started speaking and then suddenly you just forgot the word, right? Brain lock, and there's this awkward silence, right? Well, just reality, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have to get over it. Understand native speakers. Even if you study, real conversation is gonna feel 10 times faster than expected, right? I had a friend who had been doing Duolingo for a while, had a serious streak going. And we were at dinner and he was like, dude, could you understand people when you first got here? And the answer was, nope, didn't, right? So for those of you who play sports, it's sort of like that. The speed of the game day is so much faster than practice. And as you know, the more you work that muscle, the game slows down. So the same will be true here as well. Another common challenge is just feeling self-conscious, right? We don't want to sound dumb, so we hesitate to speak even at all. And it's going to be the thing we should have to get over, right? The good news, this is normal. These struggles happen to everyone learning a new language. If you're feeling this way, you're not alone. Just take comfort in that. The key is to just push through it. So how do we get past these insecurities? A couple practical tips. Number 1, change your mindset. Mistakes are not failures. This one is super important, right? So let me repeat it again. Mistakes are not failures. They're proof that you're learning. Native speakers don't expect you to be perfect, right? So give yourself some grace. And by the way, they will just appreciate the fact that you're making the effort. Tip number 2, start small. Begin with daily interactions, things like ordering coffee, asking for directions, or just greeting neighbors. These small wins, they build confidence. Number 3, use what I call survival sentences, right? Learn key phrases like, hey, can you repeat that? Or I don't understand, but I'm learning. These will save you from those awkward moments and get you progressing. Number 4, go for comprehension, not perfection. Now, this one was a game changer for me. It wasn't until I embraced this concept that I started really making meaningful progress. I was putting so much pressure on myself to, conjugate verbs correctly, get the right person, blah, 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 all that grammar stuff. Who cares if you make grammatical errors, right? Like in most cases, the reality is I'm never gonna see that person ever again, right? So why should we really care if we make a mistake? The reality is, I just wanna make sure they bring me eggs rather than a piece of toast, right? I do that and that's a win. That's a win, right? In fact, I still just go for comprehension. Oh, and another thing we beat ourselves about is mispronunciation or maybe stuttering. Do you realize how many times we mispronounce things in our native language or stutter and people still know what we mean? Yeah, right? I started paying attention to that, and wow, that just made me feel better about the whole process too. So again, give yourself some grace here. It's not gonna be perfect. All right, now some actionable techniques to help you learn faster. Number one, immerse yourself, even at home. Change your phone and social media to new language. Watch local TV shows or YouTube videos with subtitles. Now, I changed all my streaming devices over to Spanish. Find a language partner. Apps like HelloTalk or Tandem let you practice with native speakers. You can even speak to ChatGPT in multiple language. But better yet, make friends locally and go do intercambio or inter-exchange. Have them speak to you in your native language and you speak to them in their native language over something like a coffee. It's a great way to learn. And they're making mistakes and so are you, so there's no less worries on the mindset side of things. Number three, learn through real life scenarios, right? Instead of memorizing random words, learn what you actually use in daily life, right? Start with things like shopping, working, socializing. Number four, use apps and tools. Duolingo and Babbel are great for structured lessons. I currently have an almost 1,500-day streak on Duolingo, and the portion I'm on is teaching me like local phrases rather than grammar, and it's still fun. Another thing you can do is listen to podcasts or local radio, to practice while you're on the go in the car and you're going from place to place. Number five, join local events. Look for expat meetups or language exchange groups. Now, speaking in a relaxed setting helps you improve fast. For me, I mentioned that I play that game paddle. Now, I would play a few times a week, and while I was playing, I would learn ways to say things just by listening and interacting with the other players. And then oftentimes, afterwards, we would grab a beer, just to replace the nutrients in our body. And you just can't help but learn by listening and talking in that type of setting. Well, there you go. Some tips and advice on how to learn a new language. Great? Awesome. Remember, learning a language is a journey. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on progress, not perfection. That's a key one, right? You're trying to go for comprehension, not perfection. But there you go. There's my story. Now I want to hear yours. What's the biggest challenge you are facing when learning a new language? Drop a comment below, and I'd love to help. And don't forget, if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on thriving abroad. Remember, at Expat Livin, we're here to help you get from where you are to where you really want to be. See you in the next video.